Hey, everybody, and welcome. This is Bob, and today I am talking to one Nick of the possible two Nicks, but always only one cup. Is that correct?
Yes, always link up.
Only one cup ever. You never go like a Nick and 3 cups or two Nicks and 5 cups or anything like that?
Sometimes we do two Nicks, one Bob.
Oh, there. Okay. Where's the other Nick at then? We're missing it.
You know, he during the day it's tougher schedule with him because he's from SoCal and with his business, so sometimes it gets harder for him to do these interviews with me. Yeah. So I kind of became like, I always try to tell people, like, when it comes to us, we're kind of like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn. Like, at the end of the day, Joe Rogan always became the face of it. Right. And it kind of is the same way. Like, I kind of became the face, and I was the one that decided to do all the interviews.
I got you. I see what you're saying. And you know what? I have a similar situation sometimes here. Yeah. I have a co-host that his name's Miles Title, and he never shows up during the day. I think the guy's a vampire, to be honest with you. He only shows up at night.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was on Podmatch. I got a note from Nick, and he's like, hey, guess what? I think we should probably talk because I'm not reading this verbatim, by the way, but because of the humor. And so I'm like, all right, Nick. All right, one Nick. I wasn't sure. Let's talk. So tell me, let's start out of the gate, because I always hate it when people are like, we'll talk about what you're doing at the end. No, let's talk about it right now. So people can go listen to your show at Podbean, Two Nicks, One Cup. How would you describe Two Nicks, One Cup to a person who didn't know anything about it?
I'll tell you. So my Two Nicks, One Cup started with me and another live streamer, because I started off.
Well?
Yes. So
his name's 3 Nicks in the mix. We got 3 Nicks in 1 cup.
And so me and DJ, your boy, aka Nick number 2, we started the podcast as 2 live streamers. And it was because the live stream game has changed. And in the world of content, it really isn't about content now. It's really just about people throwing money and kind of just recycling, and it's just not genuine. It's just not genuine.
That impression is what you're telling me. You're getting the impression.
Yeah, so it started getting to the point where, like, it didn't matter. TikTok favorited, C2, where I was the top badge, Meet Me, where I stand in the top 1,000 out of 7 million streamers all time. Like, at the end of the day, it all became a money grab and just people just shifting money. So I had a bunch of my number 1 gifters, a few of them being top badge, top content creators, that said, Nick, you're better than this. Go do a podcast. Okay, you make people laugh. You talk about things that are serious. You're all over the board with your sense of humor, and you're all over the board with where you stand, on what you talk about. So go start a podcast. So my podcast ended up starting with content creating and ended up going everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at my episodes, it goes everywhere from mental health to traditional wives versus independent boss wives, from everything from Nick's rants to continent blocking, which is when you block somebody trying to date a girl from another continent because you're trying to date her.
I've never heard of that, to be honest.
Yes, everybody knows what cock blocking is. We have continent blocking.
Continent blocking. Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you. I'm like, well,
I made it a thing.
Does that happen all the time?
It does in the live streamer world.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people from Australia tend to date US. A lot of people from the US date people from the UK, and a lot of us date people from Canada.
So when you say date, though, I mean, you're not actually going to dinner or anything. You're just talking online, aren't you?
No. Like, I dated a girl and then flew over to Nottingham in UK.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a big commitment right there.
It is. But I own my own security staffing firm, and I do stuff like Lollapalooza and Coachella, so I'm able to make that move. I have a daughter who's 18 who's going to play D1 college basketball this year, so I have that freedom to fly over to another country.
Wow. How did it work out, or no?
No. I'm single now. No.
Maybe hopping continents is not the play. Maybe
you know what it is.
To 7-Eleven and maybe see if somebody's there.
Listen, I'm a Dollar General daddy, okay? I walk into Dollar General, I'm a hard 11, okay? I've got options in Dollar General. I walk into a Macy's, you're like, he's okay looking. I walk into a Walmart, you're like, I walk into a Dollar General, they like, God damn.
Oh my goodness. All these rating systems are new to me as well. I didn't even think about that.
I started the department store rating.
Okay, well that's fantastic. Yeah, I can see that now that you've mentioned it. I can see the scale in my head. So,
you know what I mean? Like, I walk into Nordstrom's, I'm like a 5. I walk into Walmart, I got options. Okay, I'm not into NASCAR.
That's pretty wild. Okay, hey. Everybody's got their place, right? The funny thing is, if you don't like what you rated, change the scale. Am I right or what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't like where you're at, like, okay, you're not getting looks at Nordstrom, then okay, go walk into a Dollar General. Go walk in.
Yeah,
go be a Dollar General baddie, okay? Go be a Dollar General daddy.
So then, so you are one of the Nicks. Who's the other Nick at this point? I know we had a previous Nick. Do you want to even mention that person or no? Just move on.
Nah. The new Nick is DJ, your boy. And, he's another live streamer. He's a good dude. And, he rides with me.
Oh, okay. Only not during the day, apparently.
No, only not during the day.
Yeah, only not during the day. During the day, he's busy. Apparently at the Dollar General picking up women.
Yeah, I could see him being the Dollar General daddy. I could see him being an average at Nordstrom's on the rating scale.
Okay, so then, like, if you're bringing this kind of energy, then what's the other Nick bringing to the show?
I like to say he's got the same energy I got.
Okay.
And, to me, he's a very good Scottie Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, there's days he knows to give me the ball and just get the hell out of my way and let me run with the episode.
Gotcha.
And he knows how to feed me. He knows how to segue into the next topic. And, he does what he does at a high level.
Okay. And how did you meet up with the other Nick there? What was the antithesis of that? Because you had previous Nick, and then he fell by the wayside, so you got new Nick.
Well, previous Nick, the problem is there wasn't a dedication to building the podcast.
Right, yeah.
See, people get caught up with the streaming world because they think they can make money now when they're not really making money. And at the end of the day, instead of building something strong, okay, I'm somebody that my sponsor is giving me my own energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have
was it called Two Nicks, One Cup? What's the name of that?
Actually, because my emoji in the lot is a lion in the streaming world, Me and their marketer went with Fuel the Roar.
Oh, okay.
And it says inspired by B-Nick Energy. And it's at swiftenergy.gg.
Oh, there you go.
And if you put in the code, all capitals, B-Nick Energy, that's B, the letter B, and then Nick Energy, 25, you'll get 25% off your total purchase.
Oh, gosh. That's a big discount that you're giving there.
Yeah.
All right.
You get 120 servings. There's no jitters, no crash. I love it.
So how long have you been with this sponsor?
These sponsors have been with me now for about 2 months out of my 4 months of a podcast.
Oh, okay. So they're coming in early.
Yes. I mean, I've been blessed. Like, I got 1,000 downloads in a week.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the numbers. I like to know where people are at my phase. And at my phase, when I go on Google and I look up statistics and numbers, the average podcast at my 4 to 6 months, 6 months to a year, they're doing like 170 to 250 listens a month.
Right. Yeah.
So when my average per month, I mean, I did 1,000 in a week at 4 months at the 3.5 mark. Right. I did, you know what I mean? So like, I haven't quite hit 4 months yet. And here we are getting, 1,000 a week, but consistently I'm getting 250 a week, 300 a week. Yeah.
That's good. So, I mean, where do you want to be? Obviously, you said you were doing streaming and doing pretty well. So
I left streaming. Right? I left streaming and dedicated to podcasting because my top 5 gifters all time out of my top 10 sat down with me and they told me they didn't like who I was becoming and told me that I was capable of bigger and better things. So to not lose my potential in streaming and just sitting there staying neutral, right? Like doggy paddling to stay alive for fun and growing. Instead, they told me to take my talents and start a podcast. And so I went to my Instagram and I literally reached across every streaming platform that I had been on, that people had known my reputation because I was a verified streamer on Favorited. I was a top badge on C2. I hung out with people when I went over to Kick and just hung out. KIK. I would go over to, Tagged and hang out once in a while. Just to get away from my app and just hang out with people that had different content. And, I knew people from other apps, so Super Live and Bigo. And so I took everybody I knew and I started just blasting my podcast, sliding in people's DMs saying, yo, listen, I've been your friend for a long time. I supported you in many things. Just do me a favor. Check this out. If you like it, rock with it. Whenever you get a chance. You're in the car, you're at the beach, you're going to sleep, you're cleaning, you're at work, and you're bored, just pop on a Big Nick Energy podcast. 2 Nicks, 1 cup. And then it became that, it ended up spreading to where I donated a kidney to my best friend of 23 years, to his son, who's 16. So now I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago, and my nurse and my nephrologist, my kidney doctor, were turning around, taking down the name of my podcast and following me on Spotify right in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Now,
so it just started growing.
What made you want to give a kidney away? I mean, this is hardcore business right here.
Because you know what, at the end of the day, that, like, I tell people that my best friend has been my best friend for 23 years. He has stood between me and anything that's ever tried to hurt me. if it was my daughter on that table suffering or needed one, he would never think twice to give my daughter a kidney.
Wow.
So in that same moment, I did exactly what anybody would do. And I gave his son a kidney who I had seen grown up in front of me, taking his first steps from crawling, who turned around and, who shot his first basket, hit his first baseball, went on his first date. Like, I've seen this kid since before he had facial hair, like when he was in diapers. So he might as well be my own blood. Now he technically has my kidney and is my blood.
That is wild. I mean, that's one of those decisions that people, you don't want to make, honestly, because you're like, you get this question, you're like, oh, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? So what was that process like? I mean, obviously you had to match.
I matched 5 out of the 6 blood points that you need. So therefore, I was the highest odds of him not rejecting.
Right, exactly.
And at the time, I went through the most intense physical you will ever have. They check for blood cancer cells, infections, anything you've ever had. They are so into you at that time. And the reason why people don't donate kidneys is because people like me are the reasons why. Because I've had a story where I've struggled after donating the kidney at times. I spent last year. I had to have infected tissue scraped from my kidney twice. I had sepsis 3 times, twice that almost killed me. And I spent 56 weeks in a hospital in a rehab facility.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why my best friend ran my business. So that's why a lot of people that are like, I'm hesitant, don't, because it is harder on the donor than it is the recipient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, well, I suppose they're already doing poorly, and so this actually makes them better, where it makes you do less well because you're taking away something that was functioning well for you previously. So
see right there, you think the same way I think. I usually compare it to a battery. You're talking somebody who's running off 15 to 20%, now they're running at 65%, to somebody who's running at 100% and now is running at 65%.
Right. Yeah, that's wild though. So now, so how old is this kid now? That how long has this been now?
It's been 3 years. This kid's now 19.
Oh, okay. So now he's not even talking to you.
No. He listens. Only when he needs something from Uncle Nick. Only when he wants to go to a concert do I hear from Antonio.
My goodness. I mean, that is just crazy, wild stuff with that. I mean, those are the kind of questions that people always pose, but are they'll say, very hard to answer. And then if it actually comes to fruition, then you're like, okay, am I going to go through with this? Because, I mean, it's a lot to deal with there. Gosh.
It is. It's a crazy amount to deal with. And it's a journey to get back to where you're at.
So I need a lung. Any chance? No, I'm just joking.
I mean, I don't know about a lung, but if you need a liver, I can give you half. That will regenerate.
No, but I mean, that's a high level of commitment, and obviously the other Nick, not that high level of commitment that we're talking about here, because you're not even here today. But so then, I mean, after you do that, then what do you get? What does somebody get you for Christmas or your birthday? You know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, I gave a kidney. It's my birthday now. Oh, I don't think I want ear pods. That's all right.
The simple things don't matter to me. I don't think much about it. Like, honestly, to be honest, I really don't think about it much.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, I don't, at the end of the day, it really isn't something that, like, even when I have an issue, I'm not really like, fuck, I should have never did this.
Yeah.
Like,
I should have kept that kidney.
Yeah, like I never say that. I never regret it. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you deal with it. And I understand what it is, and I understand what I did, and I did it. Not expecting anything, and my best
Right.
friend does everything for me. I mean, he called me at 6 o'clock this morning just to check in and check up.
Yeah. He's like, hey, hold on to that other kidney. I might need it.
Like he's
Don't
just
spoil it.
well, listen. The thing is, he's O positive. If I needed a kidney, he is a donor.
Oh, uh-oh. Well, that came out in the wash for all this other business, I'm sure. So now he's like, uh-oh. I'm
Now,
on
he
the hook.
knows. He
On the
knows.
hook.
He knows. Like, listen, there was a point I was struggling before my kidney function jumped back up, and he was the first one telling the doctor to put him on the table.
So, having gone through all of this, right? What would be your like top 5 tips for people who are in a situation and considering stuff like this?
I tell people this: if you're going to be financially secured and you're financially able to take a break, or if something happens, you're able to go to the hospital for a week or a couple of weeks. If you're financially, solid, and you're physically at the time of donating, you're on point, get there. I say that, what, keep drinking water, keep being physical, even if you don't meet the BMI standards today, keep working out till you lose some weight and hit the BMI standards if you really want to give and donate to somebody. Because at the end of the day, like, we all have 2 kidneys, okay? Yes, I went through some struggles, but we're still able to turn around out there and give to somebody who's losing their life 100% guaranteed. Right. You're able to let them live on borrowed time, and if you are in the right shape, like I was. I mean, I was 9% body fat when I donated to my nephew, okay, to my godson. At the end of the day, yes, I've probably put on about 35 pounds due to like water weight and stuff from hospital stays. But at the end of the day, I tell people this, like, my godson is in the top 99 percentile in success rates when it comes to kidney donation. That kid is gonna, if he does the right stuff, meaning no drinking, no hard drugs, he'll live, and I don't think he will, because he got it young enough that it was drilled in him to be disciplined. That kidney will last him 20 to 30 years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's always the hard part about, I mean, we always see these things on, in the media about celebrities, like they get a new liver and then they ruin it or something like that. So you have to really be diligent and committed to not, reversing all the good that's happened to you.
Exactly. Like, that's the difference between George Lopez getting a kidney transplant from his wife in 2024, but he still got this in 2004. They wrote it into the George Lopez show, into the script, that his dad needed a kidney transplant, when really it was George Lopez in his real life who needed a kidney transplant. And it ended up being his ex-wife, who donated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he still has the same kidney 20 years later.
Yeah. Huh. That's wild. Wild stuff. So what, so you've got the streaming, you've got the podcast that you're going now, you've got this kidney thing. I mean, what else could be going on in your life?
Well, my daughter's starting D1 basketball this year, so, we're going to go get some San Diego State Lady Aztecs games.
There you go.
Okay, we're going to do some of that, okay? They were, they were in the tournament last year, so we're gonna do some of that. We're gonna, still do the business and deal with, music festivals and concerts and, iHeartRadio events, which I do for a living. But we're gonna continue just growing with the podcast. Podcast is gonna be first and foremost beyond streaming.
Gotcha. Now this title, I mean, where did you come up with that? I'm being a little facetious,
It's so funny because I've never even seen that video.
I have not either, but that's I know about it. Yes,
but I have an idea of what it is because people have talked about it.
Right.
But I've never seen it, and people have been getting kind of quick with it, right? Like you got Bert Kreischer, who's got 2 bears, 1 cave.
Gotcha.
So we were like, yo, let's do 2 Nicks, 1 cup.
There you go. Yeah, the whole 2 girls, 1 cup thing, the whole big explosion on the internet. Gosh, how long has it been now? Gosh, it's been a while.
Yo, it's been a hot minute. Yeah, and then I'm not going to lie, I have a secret name in my back pocket if it ever becomes just a solo Nick.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like I've thought about it.
You don't want to spill the beans here?
Nah, I mean, we got a couple of names, okay? We got Love, Lies, and Wi-Fi. That was one name. Just we'll throw that one out there. We had Love, Lies, and Wi-Fi. Then we got another one in the back pocket in case we ever got to make it, it's catchy, it's good. If we ever got to go solo, I mean, I hope I don't have to, but I mean, if we have to, it is what it is.
It happens. So then where do you see all this going? Like, let's say 5 years down the road, what are you thinking? Where do you think it's going to be?
5 years down the road, I would love to have major sponsors to where we're in talks right now trying to land Logitech. But I'm trying to get way more major sponsors. So, 5 years from now, I'd like to be in the top 50 podcasts worldwide, if not the top 25.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. I think I bring that kind of heat, and I think I'm capable of it.
So what do you think then, since you've got those goals and so forth, you probably thought about this. So what would be 5 major points that has to be part of the podcast in order to bring you to that level?
I need to continue bringing on, interesting guests, right? Which I've done a lot lately, but continue bringing on interesting people. Keep my podcast on the path that it is, that I try to make it as relatable as I do to content creators, but also to the people that listen that I know are nurses, doctors, and the people that I'm getting multiple downloads from Singapore, Philippines, and Bangladesh, Ireland, the UK, Australia. Australia's number 2 on my downloads list. Number 3 is Canada. Number 4 is the UK. My foreign streamers are really keeping me growing and going. And then other countries are spreading on. Netherlands, thank you to Lena as one of my guest hosts. And at the end of the day, big shout out to my social media manager, Sunshine. She's been amazing. She's been my friend for over 2.5 years in streaming. She's my number 6 all-time gifter. And she's the one that pushed me into streaming or into podcasting. And she does all my social medias for me, except for my Instagram. And at the end of the day, I also feel that to continue growing, I need to get my social media following up. That's a big thing that a lot of people care about. Like I bring in my following from other apps like TikTok, my following from, favorited and from my streaming community to show them I have a following. But a lot of people care about your TikTok numbers when it comes to sponsoring. So I got to continue growing those. And I want to continue doing podcasts like this, where I'm also growing to other people's, communities, and where they can continue and start listening to my podcast. And hey, maybe they do something or they reach out to me and, they come on.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, the guesting thing has exploded so much over the last few years. Being guests and so forth. In the previous, time period, there was people guested, but it was always because you knew them. And now it's more guesting, is kind of like a thing, right? So everybody's doing it. And so and there's all these websites that have popping up like Podmatch and Matchmaker, and now Blueberry is getting into it as well, where they're matching hosts and guests and all this kind of stuff now, which is kind of interesting. Do you think because your subject matter is a little bit more broad, and I've noticed over the last few years that for podcasting it's become more narrow. Do you think the broad thing is going to hurt you?
No. I think the fact that I can take a topic, because my episodes really do change up. You can really click on one of my episodes if you take a look at Two Nicks, One Cup on Spotify, because I am on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Radio, and Boomplay. And you can turn around and take a look at my list and see that one episode may be about current events and things that are going on in the world that people are, unaware of. And then one of my episodes may be something about floodlighting, which most people don't even know what floodlighting is, which is when people in relationships in the beginning trauma dump, which makes people grow attachments quicker to people because they feel bad. And, like I may go into a whole episode about something that people don't know about. And it's kind of, I always tell everybody, you listen to one of my podcasts, I guarantee you, no matter who you are, at the end of my podcast, you're going to have laughed at something, if not multiple times, and you are going to leave my podcast thinking and questioning about something.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So, maybe that's the angle then, right? So, questioning things, questioning yourself, questioning what's happening in the world, or what's happening to you, or what's happening to your friends. That could be a thing.
It is, it's a thing that I make people think and I make people laugh. It's a little play off Jimmy Valvano's. If you have a day where you laugh, think, and cry, then you have turned around and hit every emotion you can have in one day.
Mm-hmm. There's only 3 emotions, is what you're telling me?
Those are the 3 major ones. I mean, the 3 majors.
What about, whenever you're flat, right? Like there's no emotion. That's got to be something. It's kind of like
you're always in
colors and white's absence of colors. Maybe white is the flat. You don't have any emotion.
I'm with you. There's always some type of it's like when you're not doing anything, you're still doing something because you're breathing.
Right. Yeah, I know, but it's kind of like a Zen kind of thing, right?
Yeah, but to me, the 3 major emotions, like Jimmy Valvano said when he was dying of cancer, is laughing, crying, and thinking.
Okay. No anger in there.
So I don't try to make anybody cry. No, y'all won't make nobody mad. Even though sometimes, I get them toxic episodes, I'm like, ooh, I want to call some people out.
Well, that's interesting, because I always think of emotions as kind of like, the color palette. There's just infinite shades and variants and mixtures and things like that. So it's not always primary and tertiary and secondary colors. But no, it's interesting take on things. I see what you're talking about, because people do like that. They love to go to those points, right? So that's why they watch murder type shows about murder, because they want to get a little bit scared, or they watch shows that are romance because they want to have that feeling while they're watching and so forth. And so, yeah, I see where you want to go to those.
So I try to hit people's emotions. Yeah, like, okay, you had a bad day. Well, I'm gonna make you laugh. Yeah. But you know what? There may be something in your life that you thought you knew, or something you thought about in a relationship, or some type of thing. It can be anything. I want you to question that.
So have you ever done like stand-up comedy or anything?
Nah. A lot of people are trying to push me into that too.
Yeah. Not an interest, or?
I don't know if that's a thing for me right now. Like, that's a lot of dedication. You start going to open mics. Being in the entertainment industry as I am, I have connections to people. Like, that's if I wanted to do open mics. But to me, it's a lot of like traveling for like $100 in free drinks. Like, I spent $400 on a flight one way. But I got $100 and some drinks and some people to laugh.
You got one kidney, so you're only gonna drink half the drinks anyway. So
facts, and then I gotta go drink a gallon of water anyway.
You can't take full advantage of that, so it's not really a perk.
Exactly. So that's my problem. Like, yeah, I would love to. And I think down the line that may be a thing. I mean, I look at someone like Theo Vaughn. It's, I'm 36, but I look at someone like Theo Vaughn who's 45. Didn't really get put on the map. I mean, that guy did stand-up comedy for freaking 20 years, y'all. Right. 20 years. Nobody knew who Theo Vaughn was. But in the last 2 to 3 years, Joe Rogan's made that boy relevant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's the way it works. Apparently,
Joe Rogan made him
obscurity until all of a sudden you get plucked from nowhere. So
that's my game plan. Continue doing what I do. Continue getting noticed like I have by bigger TikTokers and bigger content creators on Instagram and TikTok, like I have, that have started to want to do my show. And continue growing with the content creating, community, and that bring them on, but then hit them with real life feelings and real life stuff. Let them not know what they're getting into.
It sounds like a game plan. So is there, for closing bits here, is there anything that you want to get out there? I'm going to put the where to find the podcast at again. Is there anything else you want to tell people and say, this is what you need to know?
This is what I'm going to tell everybody. If you have Instagram, check me out at lowercase b NickEnergy_2025. Feel free to follow me. Feel free to slide in the DMs if you have any show ideas or anything you want my take on. But at the end of the day, my final thoughts is this was a great podcast, a great show. I appreciated doing. I loved the opportunity. Amazing host. And, I'm going to tell everybody, times is tough in this world, so be humane. And as I always tell people as I sign off on my podcast, do better to be better.
I'm going to cut everything out except for that last few minutes. I'm just joking. Thanks, Nick. Big Nick Energy, 2 Nicks, 1 cup. Look it up. And hey, best to you, bud. I mean, it's hard running around with one kidney.
Yeah, we still do it, though.
There you go. All right, hold on just a second.